On today's show, we'll get you set for this afternoon's Ottawa Senators home opener against the Nashville Predators.
After splitting the first two games, we'll talk about what we liked and what we didn't like.
This is Brady Tkachuk, and you're listening to the Locked On Senators podcast.
Your Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome! You are locked on to the Ottawa Senators. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's over on FanDuel. Today is Monday, October 13th. A happy Thanksgiving to all those north in our great country. And Pilsy, you're spending it with 19,000 of your best friends.
Yeah, they always say, Ross, you're supposed to go home for Thanksgiving, right? Well, I always say Ottawa is like my second home. There's so many people that I love seeing there. The Sens community is unmatched, in my opinion. It's so awesome that we've been able to create so many different relationships with Sens fans and listeners and guests of the show, Sens Central Citizens. So I'm excited to see everyone.
I'm going to be so jealous. Already am, but we're recording this Sunday right before you hit the road, your annual pilgrimage. You got your canoe paddles ready, maybe a little bit of extra gas in the tank, and the home opener too. I can only imagine for you, like that drive. And you're not the only one that makes it from whether it's through the Algonquin or up the 401 from wherever you're coming to the home opener. The colors are beautiful. There's that chill in the air. It just feels like hockey season. And then you get to the CTC. It's going to be a blast. I know you're taking the GCP shuttle. So go ahead to the GCP. Have a great time, whether it's before or after the game. Let's have a great game during it, because the Ottawa Senators are undefeated in home openers since COVID. Toronto, beaten. Boston, beaten. Philly, beaten. And the next one, the Florida Panthers, coming off their Cup championship. Ottawa gets the 3-1 win. And Ullmark was fantastic last year in the home opener. Later on the show, we'll talk about his stats, why there are concerns, but why it's too early to worry about Linus Ullmark. I'll give a tease to that, Pillsy, as we turn our page back to what we saw yet on Saturday, and then we'll get into the game day preview. I know. But I looked it up, and Linus Ullmark last year in his first two road games allowed 9 goals and had an .830 save percentage. He's at .808 and has allowed 10 goals through his first two road games this year. So he can, and hopefully will sooner than later, bounce back.
I mean, yeah, he's got to figure it out. And I feel like he's a guy that the mental side of the game weighs heavy on him. When he's feeling good, he's feeling really good, and it shows. And when he's in his own head about things, I think it's very obvious as well, even when you're listening to him in the post-game or pre-game press conferences. I mean, he said it himself when asked about that second goal. He said, I effed that one up, pardon my French. So, like, it's no secret to him that that one was 100% on him, and he's got to bounce back. I'm still in the camp, Ross. Maybe Sens fans are getting their fruit and tomatoes and veggies ready to throw at me on stage. I'll duck a couple of those here with this take, but I still think you have to give him the opportunity to bounce back in the home opener. You said it, not always the best on the road to start the season, but at home, he was, I would argue, the main reason they won last year. You need to let him know that you're our guy, and we will give you time to figure things out, and we believe in you when we need you most. The home opener and bouncing back from a brutal loss like that, there's no better time, in my opinion. Would I be upset if they announced Levy was starting? No, but I do think the right move and the long-term mental play is to let Linus Ullmark figure this one out.
Yeah, it would almost seem like too quick of a, oh my goodness, we got to make a quick reaction. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen if Linus Ullmark plays and doesn't play well? No, this is your guy. Yeah. He's making $8.25 million. He needs to be in net in the home opener. Not to sound Melnick-esque, the way he spoke after Matt O'Connor started the home opener back in, 2015 or 2016?
His one and only NHL game.
Ullmark has to play this game.
Yeah.
He has to play the game. And you're going up against a Nashville Predators team that has I would say, overachieved versus expectations here in the early part of the season. We'll get into them more in the next segment, but they're clicking, and they've got 3 points, 1-0-1 through their first 2 games. But last season, Linus played 1 game against Nashville, and it was a very good start for him. He made 36 saves, and it was a 3-1 win. And I think they scored super late in that game. It was 3-0 throughout, and it was a garbage time goal that broke the shutout, but Ullmark needs to play. So we got to get that out of the way. But later on the show, we will talk about whether or not it is early to worry about Ullmark. Home opener, though, it's about more than just a game. It's about the atmosphere. It's about the pageantry. It's about the player introductions. It's about hopefully getting to hear Lyndon Slewage belt out the national anthems. What are you most excited about being in the building?
I'm excited about before the game, Ross. So I know you asked about being in the building, but I'll take it outside of the building. And the weather's going to be great from what I've seen from the weather app. I hope this isn't a Pilsy mush and I make it rain or snow within the next 24 hours. But it looks like it's going to be like plus 16, 17. So not quite Jersey shorts and Burks weather, Ross, which is your favorite outfit. But definitely
that's why I'm not coming.
Yeah, boycotting it because of weather. The weather's too good for Ross. He prefers the Winnipeg climate.
No, it's not good enough because I need to have the shorts and Burks.
Oh, it's not good enough. Okay, well, you should have went to Florida, buddy.
I am. We'll see you in March.
Yeah, end of March. But it's great getting there. Everybody's in their jerseys. The beer tent, the vibes are high. Everybody knows the home opener is a time for positivity, for optimistic attitudes. They've won 4 straight. I'm going to be wearing my black Tim Stützle jersey that has been in attendance for 4 straight home opener wins. So I don't see why the Ottawa Senators can't bounce back and win this game. Like the Nashville Predators, I wouldn't even call them a measuring stick team, Ross. I would say that's a team you look at and you're like, we should find a way to beat them. The Florida Panthers, you know what? That's fair. That's a good team, even without their top players. But the Nashville Predators at home, you can beat this team.
You have to beat this team. Heck, how long have we talked about center depth being such a high strength of the Ottawa Senators? The Nashville Predators center on the top line was drafted 3 months ago.
Yeah.
A pure 18-year-old rookie. And we love this kid. We loved him in the draft profiles. Brady Martin, the farm boy that didn't go to the draft because he was busy baling hay. He is their top centerman to open the season, playing on a line where he's got a natural centerman on one side in Ryan O'Reilly. So he's got the same helper in the faceoff dot that Timmy had all those years. And then you've got on the other side, Philip Forsberg, who I think that we could probably go out. Maybe he's not because everyone knows how good he is. But I feel like with Nashville not playing well last year, he wasn't on the bigger stage. He's a top player in the league. You have to be aware when Philip Forsberg is out there. In the next segment, we will get into the Nashville Predators lines, some lookout players. The Ottawa Senators are on the ice for practice, so we'll bring you updates from that. And the penalty kill. Hey, we got 8 minutes into the show. We didn't mention the penalty kill. Thankfully, we got into it a lot on the postcast last night. But it doesn't need minor adjustments. It needs a major shakeup. And we went back and watched all 8 of the penalty kills that the Sens have had this year. And we've got some thoughts. That's all coming up next. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Monarch Money. Look, let's be honest. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's your 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. Don't do that. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. We're all busy. So if you've put off organizing your finances, then Monarch's for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever needing to touch a spreadsheet. Maximize your investments, increase your savings rates, easily review your finances with your partner or a financial advisor to keep a clear view of your financial health. So in this economy, don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL.
Today's episode is also brought to you by the Glebe Central Pub over at 779 Bank Street, right in the heart of the Glebe, and they're buzzing right now. The Ottawa Senators home opener is today, and there are still select tickets available on the Glebe Central Pub shuttle, so last-minute decision, come on down to the GCP. The bus leaves an hour and a half before the game and then brings you right back to the GCP, leaving the same place where it drops you off 15 minutes after the final horn. So you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, there's still a minute left in the game. Will I miss the bus? No. You watch the end of the game, you pour out through the parking lot, super easy to get to, and then they got the bus lane, they fly back. You will be back in no time or enough time to have a few at the GCP. So head to the place where the vibes are free. Pilsy will be there. What time are you getting there tomorrow?
The goal is 10:30. The bus is
today.
The bus is leaving at 11:30. The 1 o'clock game. It's early, but no, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning, Ross. That's what I've heard. So get started early at the GCP, and 11:30 bus leaves. Be there.
779 Bank Street. And when you head there, whether it's live music on Saturday nights, you got all sorts of different events every day of the week, like wing night on Mondays, tacos on Thursdays. It's all at the GCP. 779 Bank Street, and let them know that Locked On Senators sent you. All right, Pilsy, it is a game day, the home opener, 1 o'clock against the Nashville Predators. The Preds, good start to the season for them, but still a very winnable game for a Sens team coming off an embarrassing loss. You want to start with the key to victory? Or should we look at the lineup first?
Let's look at the lineups and get to the keys to victory.
All right, so it turned out to be an optional skate today for the Ottawa Senators, so not much in terms of tipping his hand for Travis Green, but we know this top line has played the majority of the season together. Tim Stützle with Brady Tkachuk and Fabian Zetterlund. That follows up with Dylan Cousins, David Perron, and Michael Amadio. Shane Pinto between Ridley Gregg and Claude Giroux. The fourth line, Lars Eller, Nick Cousins, and likely Curtis McDermott. On the back end, Jake Sanderson with Artem Zub, Thomas Chabot with Nick Jensen, Donovan Sabrango with either Nicholas Madden-Paolo, maybe Jordan Spence gets into his first game as a Senator regular season, and we've already discussed and expect Linus Ullmark to start in goal. I guess the biggest question, Pilsy, is could Drake Batherson be back?
Yeah, Drake Batherson would be the biggest impact to this lineup of all the changes that could happen, in my opinion. And it would just be nice because if Batherson takes his rightful spot on the right wing of that second line, then Amadio takes out Curtis McDermott, or if Lexell is a guy that looks like he might get in, that just makes this whole forward lineup match up the way it was intended to when Steve Stais made the final finishing touches on this roster, basically just adding Eller at that point in the offseason. So hopefully Batherson's back, but I don't know. I'm not that optimistic. He is on the ice for optional skate today, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, we will. Who's your locked on player to watch?
My locked on player is going to be the man in this photo, Jake Sanderson. I thought he played all right in Florida, but not his best game. I think up against a team like the Nashville Predators, they've got a decent D-core, especially Roman Josi. So if Roman Josi is going to be on his game, I want to see Jake Sanderson on his game. And Sanderson's one of those guys where it's very obvious when he's on his game, like he was in Tampa, the team can have success. And if he's not up to his standard, it can be tough for the team to play well because he's your top guy. He's playing top even strength minutes, top power play, top penalty kills. So he has a major impact in almost every single aspect of the Ottawa Senators game.
His goal should be the best defenseman on the ice today. And that has high expectations when you look at Roman Josi on the other side, who's been doing it for the last number of years. My locked on player, we're going 20/20 vision today, Pilsy. There's no reason why Tim Stützle can't dominate this game. Not win his matchup, dominate this game. I'm expecting a 2-goal, 1-assist performance or better from the young German superstar. He's been shooting the puck. He's got 5 shots on goal, but he's taken 10 attempts in 2 games. So I like the aggressiveness from him. But outside of what he can do himself, going up against that Nashville Predators depth down the middle, and I don't care whether O'Reilly is technically the guy matching up against him or if it's Stamkos who plays wing on the second line. It's Tim Stützle being the best centerman on the ice every single shift. I'm very confident he's going to do it. Maybe that's because you're picking me up at Tim Stützle alternate jersey when you go to the game today, but I have a lot of faith that this is going to be point night for Jimmy Stu.
Well, and finally, Ross, we get to see the Ottawa Senators at home with last change, so it's going to be fascinating to see how Travis Green decides to put the lines up against Nashville's lines, and hopefully you see Timmy put in good opportunities, because I've actually liked what I've seen from Timmy, Brady, and Zetterlund. I know Zetterlund, classic tale of him in Ottawa, hasn't shown up on the score sheet, but I've liked his game, and I find he complements the two of Stützle and Tkachuk, and he's been able to get them opportunities. So I want to see this line pop off in the home opener.
And maybe they will. If they do, if they don't, we'll be talking about it here on Locked On Senators. The postcast will go live right after today's game. You can set a reminder by going to the YouTube page, Locked On Senators, and then we will have the little thumbnail there telling you when we're going to go live. The Senators, they're coming off a 6-2 loss to the Florida Panthers. Meanwhile, the Nashville Predators fell 3-2 in overtime at home to Utah. They beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 2-1 in their opening game, despite being outshot 39-32. UC Saros should be in goal, and it should be a tough test. We'll get to Nashville's situation on the other side. You're listening to Locked On Senators, your team every day.
Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. The NFL and NHL season is here, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for every kickoff and puck drop with a can't-miss offer. If you're new to FanDuel, good time to join, because new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love FanDuel. Ross loves FanDuel, and you should too, because FanDuel fits however you like to bet. You want to sprinkle a little bit of money on some player props all around? You got it. Build a same game parlay. So many different options, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds if Shane Pinto scores a goal. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineups. It's quick, it's easy, and the best way to add a little bit more energy to all your sporting events. So what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet.
All right, Billsy, I've got my first Levy lock of the season.
Ooh, okay. Let's hear it.
2-point Timmy. I know I said 3 or more, but we're hammering 2-point Timmy today. That's my biggest play of the day. And then, of course, I'll sprinkle other way. I'm also thinking about doing 2 units on Fabian Zetterlund, 4+ shots in your honor until it hits. And at plus 600 odds, like it was on Saturday, I just have to hit 1 in the first 6 games, and I'm good. So I'm going to do it at least 6 times here, and we'll see if Zetterlund can get 4 or more shots on goal. Why not the home opener? He's going to want to put on a bit of a show. He knows this opportunity can't pass him by playing with Stützle and Tkachuk. Fabian's going to be ripping the puck on Monday.
I hope so, Ross. I hope you're right.
Me too. Yeah, hope is eternal. And the Nashville Predators hope that they're not as bad as they were last year. Holy smokes. One of the most exciting off seasons in franchise history turned into a clunker where Nashville finished second last in goals for and 5th last in goals against. That's a recipe to finish 7th in the Central Division and 68 points in the standings. Senators had 29 more points than the Nashville Predators in the standings. Ottawa went 2-0 against the Preds in their season series last year. This will be the first of 2 games head-to-head. The Ottawa Senators will visit Nashville on January 22nd. By then, Brady Martin will have had almost half a season under his belt. But as of now, the Nashville Predators top-line center is playing in his 3rd career NHL game. He's expected to line up in between Philip Forsberg and Ryan O'Reilly. The second line is Fedor Svechkov in between Steven Stamkos and Luke Evangelista. The third line, Eric Howla with Michael Bunting and Jonathan Marchessault. And the fourth line, Michael McCarron with Cole Smith and Tyson Yost on his wings. On defense, Adam Wilsby with Roman Josi, Brady Shea with Nick Perbix, and don't call me Paul, Peter, or Martin Stastny. Oh, I hope I got the Stastny brothers right there. Did I?
I don't know about Martin.
I know. Stastny brothers. Who are they? Right when I said that, it didn't sound right. Anton. Damn it.
Darn.
Peter, Anton, and Marion. I think I went 1 for 3 there. That's tough. But don't call this man any of them because his name is Spencer Stastny and he's from Wisconsin, not former Czechoslovakia. He's paired with Jordan Barron. Justin. Jeez Louise. And he's got a brother named Morgan on the Winnipeg Jets. So we are all brothered up here on
family
the blue
names.
Line. Yeah, that was tough. Sorry about it. UC Saros starts in goal. Maybe I was just trying to prolong getting to the best player on the Nashville Predators. When UC Saros is playing at the top of his game, he's basically unbeatable. He is the shortest goalie in the National Hockey League. I believe one of only two, him and Calvin Pickard, who are under 6 feet tall. And he is a stud. And we expect him to start in goal. But this team overall, very youthful, lacking experience, but then with a few very impressive veterans sprinkled in with Marchessault, Stamkos, and O'Reilly.
Yes, absolutely. And then the backup is Justus Anunen. So you got Jussi and Justus.
You know what I think about when I think of Anunen? I think it was the last time Ottawa beat Colorado in Ottawa. Brady scored an OT winner on a breakaway against them and did a sick sally to the crowd.
Well, we're hoping the Preds decide to go with Anunen because UC Saros, I know you said he's the shortest goalie in the league right now, Ross, but his stats stand tall. In 2 games, a 1.96 goals against and a 935 save percentage. So he's hot right now, but he is not my lookout player. My lookout player is going to be the rookie, number 1 centerman, number 44, Brady Martin. I mean, we absolutely love this guy in our prospect profiles. The Preds, they want to get some of that power forward in their DNA here. And although he does have a point already, he got an assist. He has no shots on goal. I'm concerned, Ross. You know where I'm going with this. I'm concerned he's going to get his first career goal up against the Ottawa Senators. So I'm going to be looking out for him. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but he's going to be fun to watch. And I honestly think like Ryan O'Reilly is almost a good player comparable for him too. So playing with him to start his career, I think it's a great mentor to have on his line. So I see the vision with Brady Martin, but he shouldn't be beating you up this early in his career as an 18-year-old in the National Hockey League. My lookout player is going to be Jonathan Marchessault. He's a player we were interested in when he was heading to free agency. He also obviously signs that huge contract, and year 1 of it did not go well at all. I mean, 56 points ain't bad, but he just wasn't the same player as he was in Vegas. And you could say that the players around him in Vegas obviously helped him get 42 goals the year before. But I think that him slated in there on the third line, that's just someone you're going to have to be aware of and looking out for when he's on the ice, because he's one of those little water bugs out there, similar to David Perron in a sense, but definitely has a little more speed than Perron. And he can just find little holes and little areas, soft coverage, and beat you. He's got a very impressive career, and I feel like he beats up on Ottawa. I'm going to double check this, but I feel like when he plays the Sens, he's got 21 points in 20 career games against Ottawa and 12 goals, which are tied for the most against any opponent.
Classic. Yeah.
That kind of surprises me. He's got 12 goals against Ottawa and Edmonton.
Okay.
Oh, I lied. He has 14 against San Jose and St. Louis. I missed that.
Okay.
That part.
So we're good. We got nothing to worry about.
Well, hopefully he's not in that mix if he gets 2 goals today.
Yeah. He's a Conn Smythe winner, Stanley Cup champion, so he's got the pedigree, and Nashville has high expectations for him. Ross, we've held off long enough, but deep breath, big sigh. I think it's time we get into the penalty kill. But I would like to start with some good news, some positive news, some optimistic news. Will you have it, or do you want to get the whipping done first?
No, good luck.
Okay. The Nashville Predators are one of the worst power play teams in the league right now, 2 games in. They have an 11%, 11.1 if we're being exact, power play, 1 goal in 9 opportunities. So that's what you like to hear for a team that's penalty kill is struggling like the Ottawa Senators. So hopefully they can find a way to take advantage of a weak penalty or power play rather. But on the flip side, they're tied for first in penalty kill percentage with 100%. So the Ottawa Senators, this is an opportunity for you to mop up your terrible penalty killing, but it also goes to show you cannot rely on the power play the way they like to, because this penalty kill has been shutting the door. And we all know the most important penalty killer is your goalie, and UC Saros has been strong. So I'll say it again, Ross, 5-on-5 scoring is going to have to be a factor for this team to be successful.
Yeah, and I said that you had to win the special teams battle against Florida. They didn't. They lose the game. The one guy that concerns me about that Predators power play is Steven Stamkos. 11 of his 19 career goals against Ottawa have come on the power play. Funny enough, Stamkos in his career against Ottawa, he's a bigger dash than he is against any other team in the league, and it's not even close. I don't even have to double check my notes here. Minus 31 in 53 games for Steven Stamkos. Does that not shock you?
Wow. Yeah, that's very shocking.
His next worst team is the Rangers at minus 21. So 10 better than the Ottawa Senators. Yeah, he's got 46 points in 53 games, but still rocking a dash 31 in his career.
Crazy.
Must have been those early years where Tampa wasn't good yet, and Ottawa must have been beating up on them pretty bad. Okay, Nashville's power play stinks. So you're saying that Ottawa's penalty kill can be better because the opponent's worse, not because the Sens are just going to do more to get in lanes and pressure all over the ice. Can we just not allow the half wall guy to get 10 seconds with it and slowly move to the middle, and then make the play down low? Because that play is so wide open where the guy on the goal line can either jam it, create havoc, or look for a backdoor option, or heck, go back up top the umbrella. Like, they're allowing so much control down low and on the side. They do, I find, pressure the quarterback pretty well, and they pressure high when there's loose pucks. But if they get it to basically the hash marks are in, it's like they're being told, don't attack.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, they're, to put it in football terms, since you mentioned quarterback there, Ross, they're dead focused on playing zone defense. I think they got to mix up a little man-to-man here. I mean, when you're down a man, that's difficult to do. But, like, especially when up against Tampa, it should be so easy and obvious to play tight on Kucherov. Like, if you have to let another guy have some space, so be it. But Kucherov, that's a guy you should be tight on no matter what. And if someone else beats you, you tip your cap to them. But the Ekblad goal is the one that really sticks out the most to me against Florida, because Ekblad couldn't believe the time and space he had, because everyone's just standing still being like, oh, I got to stay in my diamond. The diamond worked so well. Got to make sure to stick to it. And it's just a disaster. They need to put pressure on guys. Like, and then you saw Florida's penalty kill. The Sens had no time with anything. As soon as they get the puck, immediate pressure. Pass the puck, immediate pressure. Well, the Sens couldn't put 2 passes together tape to tape for the entire game, so that's a different story. But it's just, there's no movement, there's no pressure, there's no anticipation, there's no importance. I'm blanking on the one word I'm trying to use here, but it's just too stagnant on the penalty kill. No matter what formation they use, obviously the diamond is what everyone has the issue with, but if there's no pressure, you're not going to be able to make those power play players make a mistake and make quick passes, and you're not going to be able to get those opportunities to create offense like the Ottawa Senators. When they're penalty killing and is at their best, they're creating offensive chances the other way. So that's tough. And Timmy, love that he's shooting the puck, but if you got an odd man rush on the penalty kill and you decide to shoot the puck, you better damn make sure you hit the net, because when that misses and wraps around the boards, well, we saw what happened with Samoskevich goal when it's odd man rush the other way.
Yeah, and Samoskevich had the easiest time ever getting to the net.
But I mean, that makes sense, because now, like, there was 2 Sens back there, so now it's a
Totally.
4-on-2 coming back the other way. So I don't feel that upset about that one, but still a little easy there.
I still feel good about Timmy getting shifts on the penalty kill, especially when they're down in games. Like the thought process and getting it out of their zone into a odd man rush situation was all good things.
When they're down, I'll get with you on that. Yeah.
There's a lineup note I actually want to get to here shortly, but with the PK, I agree with everything you said, but there's also the fact that your goaltender has to be your best penalty killer, and he just hasn't been that. So where do you split the blame pie between the penalty killers allowing these grade A opportunities and Linus Ullmark having to bail them out a little bit more?
I'll go 60-40, 60 on the players, 40 on Ullmark, because yes, Ullmark needs to be better. There's no doubt about that. He would be the first one to say it, but
pardon my French.
Yeah, but the players are just giving key offensive weapons way too much time and space with the puck, and at that point, there's only so much you can do as a goaltender. Obviously, you'd like them to come up with a big save more often than not, but I'm more concerned about Ullmark in other areas than the penalty kill. I'll just put it that way.
And the penalty kill was an issue to start last season as well. They gave up a goal in the second game of the season to Montreal. And then in the third game of the season, the LA Kings went 3 for 5, which is what Florida went on Saturday. The only difference in why Ottawa was able to win the game is Ottawa went 4 for 6 on their power plays in that outrageous 8-7 overtime game. So if your penalty kill is going to stink up the joint, you have to take advantage of your opportunities. And I know we didn't touch on it too much, and it's hard to blame the refs when you're down 6-2, but we saw a double minor called against Thomas Chabot that for the exact same play, really, that happened against Shane Pinto on Thursday, where he took a high stick in the face, but they said that the Ottawa player put his stick in his face. Well, the Florida player put Chabot's stick in his face. He had one hand on his stick defending, and all of a sudden it was a 4-minute penalty, and it was curtains before that, but unfortunate. And
the one against Pinto, penalty, the guy's stick was in the visor. Like, the evidence is right there.
Completely nuts. What do you think of Brady's penalty? I know it broke up a scoring opportunity. It's kind of like, I would say, soft call, but you probably just take a number, get him after.
Yeah, no, that was a soft call in my opinion, and Mikkola sold that, because they showed the replay after. Mikkola was giving him the gears, and I'm not saying Mikkola deserved a penalty there, but if you're going to be playing hard on a guy and like giving him like 4 or 5 good cross checks and shoves up against the board, and then he gives you Brady gave him a bit of a swing. There's no doubt about that, but I think that's just playing hard and selling it like that. As Brendan Gallagher would say, there's kids watching. You shouldn't act that way.
Oh, I can't let you end the show quoting Brendan Gallagher. Billsy, when would it be time to worry about Linus Ullmark? Like, how big of a game is Monday for him? Or are you saying, okay, let's look at this entire week, which is a winnable week. Nashville at home on Monday, at Buffalo on Wednesday, home to Seattle on Thursday, and home to the New York Islanders on Saturday.
So wait, clarify. What is your question?
How long is the leash before you start to worry about Linus Ullmark?
Well, for clarity's sake, I'll say let's assume Ullmark starts the home opener, and I want Levi Merlainen starting the road game up against Buffalo, and then I want Ullmark starting the second half of the back-to-back at home Seattle, and I want Ullmark starting again Saturday afternoon up against the New York Islanders. So I'm expecting him to have a big game in the home opener. So I think we're going to be good there. Levy, I might call this road game up against Buffalo a must win. Might be crazy, but we'll see if I get to that point. If he struggles against Seattle, then I think we're looking at some concern here. So the Seattle game will be a big one, but we'll see how they decide to put the goalies out here.
And I would say that what I'm looking for Linus Ullmark to know he's on top of his game is to be on top of his crease. Number one, he's been pretty deep on a few of the goals that have beaten them. Now, there have been deflections, there have been other things, but as a whole, he needs to be out, challenging, confident, and I don't want to see him swimming around. Like, he can make athletic saves, but he's at his best when he's big, letting the puck hit him and covering rebounds right away. So those are things that I'm going to be watching for to know if Linus Ullmark can get in the zone to get the Ottawa Senators back into the win column, which is completely possible against the Nashville Predators. The Predators, they're 1-0-1, as we mentioned, but they've only scored 4 goals. They've allowed, though, 4 goals. So you got to find a way to generate offense against this team. And it should be a situation where Ottawa outshoots them pretty heavily on home ice. So how can Ottawa get their finishing ability to where it needs to be a competitive team throughout the season? You can't allow that to linger on and lose confidence and lose opportunities. I should mention Shane Pinto. I'm not talking to you, bud. 4 goals in 2 games. That's absolutely sick. But everyone else, I think, needs to pull on the rope a little bit more, because the Senators have scored 7 goals this year, and Shane Pinto has more than half of them.
And I want to see a nice goal, Ross. Like, obviously, we had the Shane Pinto breakaway goal. That was a nice one. But all the other ones have pretty much been greasy. And hey, don't get me wrong. If nothing beats a greasy meal after a hangover, which the Ottawa Senators probably have a hangover after that 6-2 loss. But I want to see a highlight reel goal. This team's got some talented players. Like, I want to see Timmy score an absolute beauty or something like that. So let's focus on that here.
Cousins' power play goal is sick.
Yeah, but
I love me a little same side one-timer.
I'm talking even strength.
Yeah.
Because we know, like, you should be able to score 6 goals on the power play. Even strength, I want to see a nice, beautiful goal.
Okay, so you're in the building. What kind of goal would get you most fired up? Are we talking a rush 2-on-1 pass? Are you talking a dipsy doodle in the zone? Are we talking a Giroux flip from his own blue line that bounces over the goalie's shoulder? What would get you most? I would not call that a beauty goal.
What I want is Zetterlund, Timmy, 2-on-1 rush. Zetterlund sells shot hard, pass over to Timmy, no deke.
He's got to pass it back.
Nothing. Wrist shot, top shelf.
Nice. I like that.
That's what I want. Like, I want a Timmy top shelf wrist shot. That's what I'm asking for.
Okay, I'll say Sanderson walking the line a little down low where the guy's kind of wheeling towards the boards around the circle. He gets it. He looks up. Let's say Giroux. Okay. He looks up, and then Pinto pops out, and we get the little 5-foot pass. Pinto one time. I'm trying to be realistic, so Pinto's scoring this goal.
Yeah, I like it. Hey, and that increases our chances of winning by a large margin. So that's actually smart, Ross. Good call.
All right, Billsy, any final thoughts on today's show?
Yes, final thoughts for me is we're here. It's the Ottawa Senators home opener. The weather is beautiful. Everybody's got their Sens gear on. We're at the CTC parking lot chopping it up. We've got optimism. This is a beatable team in the Nashville Predators. It's a 1:00 afternoon game. We got all day to celebrate after. Let's go to inside the barn. Let's cheer loud. Let's cheer proud. Get the Go Sens Go going. I want to hear this building on their best behavior, rocking up the roof, as Guy Boucher would say, and let's just have a good time. Sports are meant to be fun. I know we're a little down after that Florida game, but there's no reason why when we bring all 18,000 plus Sens fans together, we can't find a way to will this team to a win. So let's go get it done on the home opener. 5th straight home opener win on deck. Let's go. Go Sens Go.
That's a perfect way to get the people fired up. Oh my God. What do you think though about Nashville? Like, can we have a quick talk about Nashville being the opponent?
Sure.
I like when it's, whether it's Boston, Toronto, Montreal. I like it when it's at least a divisional matchup. I feel like is better. Like the Philly one, don't get me wrong, it was another matinee. It was fun. Chychrun had 2 goals in that game. The first period, everyone was buzzing. But like, I want it to be a divisional matchup to open the season.
All right. Well, I envision this episode ending with me doing that speech with emphatic hype music going, and then you hitting the exit and we leave. But now that
I'm not in a good mood, dude, after Saturday.
Now that you brought me back down, I'll join you in the mud, Ross, because there's 3 things I want in a home opener game.
Win.
Prime time day of the week. I'm talking Thursday or Saturday.
Yeah.
at night,
Monday at 1 p.m.
At night, prime time, 7 p.m. And against a divisional opponent. So the schedule makers like, screw you guys. That is ridiculous that the Sens home opener is at 1 o'clock. Like 3 o'clock would have been decent, but 1 o'clock on a Thanksgiving Monday up against a Central Division opponent. That's just rude. But we're going to have a great time regardless.
Yes, we are. Trivia to end today's show. Which Ottawa Senator has the most career points against the Nashville Predators? Billsy.
As their time as an Ottawa Senator.
Correct.
Okay.
Are you not going to answer? Oh, you're thinking?
Yeah, can a guy think? I mean, let's just be easy. I'm going to go Daniel Alfredson.
You're right. Alfie. With 14 points
He's in the building.
12 games. Jason Spezza second with 12 points in 9 games. Wade Redden with 11 points in 10 games. And then there's Brady Tkachuk with 10 points in 12 games. Hopefully Brady can move up that list today when the Senators take on the Nashville Predators. We will see you in the postcast, and Pilsy will see you around the rink. For today, we say goodbye. Thanks so much for liking, watching, listening, and engaging with the show. You can subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This has been another edition of the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.